Welcome to Coffee and Coaching Conversations, Love and Dating. I am cindyann, and Abby and I today will be interviewing our dear Emma in our three-part series of how we met and are in successful, loving, long-term relationships. So today, Abby and I will have our questions with our dear Emma in London. And here, Emma, we're just going to give you the good one right off the top. And that is, tell us a little bit about your love life.
Okay. Wow. So my love life. Well, historically, I used to always attract emotionally unavailable men. They would be decent human beings, but they just did not want to commit. And so I was always kind of trying to sort of prove that I was the one they should pick, and that I was the right one for them, and I would be doing all the things that they wanted to do, and I would be nice as pie all the time, and just trying to kind of like, I am good enough, I am.
Look
But
at me, I got
yeah,
this.
exactly. It's like I will look after you. I will love you. I will, all of these things. And yet, I had relationships, but not committed, healthy, successful relationships. And I having done all of the work and things like that, I can now see, a very clear line between that and, my childhood, which is often where these things start, as we all know. And, there was that whole kind of like trying to kind of be good enough to fix my mom and to fix my mom and dad's relationship. And, that didn't work. So, I wasn't good enough. So, that kind of carried on without me realizing quite what was going on for many, many years.
Yeah, that's amazing. So that's sort of where you started out. And where would you say from that starting point was a big turning point for how you shifted from being there to where you are now? And then maybe tell us a little bit about how where you're at this point too. But yeah.
Well, funnily enough, the shift actually happened outside of my love life, or the catalyst for it all happened outside of my love life. And that just goes to show the impact of how you think of yourself and how you treat people, does impact across your whole world. So I had been working for a company, and there was an incredibly toxic culture, and I had a very challenging boss. Challenging for me because of who I was at that point. And I was deeply unhappy, although I worked with some amazing colleagues. I had some amazing colleagues. I mean, my team were fantastic. But it just some things happened at work, and I was just like, this is not okay anymore. I need to do something. So I started this journey, and it incorporated a number of different things. But I got to the point where I was like, I know I'm not done, but I don't know what I need now. And then I came across this love coach, and I didn't know anything about love coaches at this point. I'd done a lot of personal development, but not like love coaches. And I just saw something she did, and I just felt, and then ended up having a conversation with her, and I was like, this feels like what I need, even though I don't really know what I need. It was just that kind of like, how they say, like the right teacher crosses your path when you're ready. It was that whole kind of like, this just feels right. I can't logically tell you what it is, you know, so all those like, you know, very logical people I have in my family, you know, would just be like, what are you talking about? So I didn't talk to them. I just signed up and did it.
Yeah.
And so it started off with me talking about this work situation, and you know, it gave me the courage and the confidence to make those changes. And then we moved on to my love life, and we made some like massive shifts in that kind of department. And so so that was the catalyst.
Yeah. It's amazing. And then
Excellent.
and so you started off with that when I just want to jump in with another quick
Yeah, go.
Go
So
right ahead.
you had that catalyst, you had your love coach. Did you find yourself getting into a relationship during the coaching, or how did that actually work?
So yeah, I decided to start the dating process while I was in the process of being coached. And what I found was just mind-blowing for me, because I was attracting different types of men. And it was really bizarre, because I was just like, how is this happening? This is all on an app. You know, it's not like I'm going out to, you know, a bar or an event or something like that where it's easier to tell. This is all electronic. The right men are coming to me,
Mm.
and I'm sure there was some filtering of like, you know, first date calls and, you know, all of that sort of, and like initial correspondence too, where I was able to kind of filter out those that weren't right for me as well. Because obviously, you know, you do filtering as you go through the different parts of the dating process. But yeah, it was really bizarre, because I was going on dates with men that were emotionally available. I could just tell they were
Yeah.
different. It was honestly, it felt like magic. It really did. It felt like magic.
That's awesome. And I just kind of want to say that, like, I think there's that piece where you go from like attracting, if you will, the needy gentleman, the man that is filling that needy hole in you and that you're helping and fixing, to then you've done the work, you're not attracting that gentleman anymore. And then you have these high quality, great new guys coming at you, and you're thinking, magic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can totally relate to that. And then you found, so it's like you have all these wonderful guys, and then
Yeah.
went on to
Dad.
incredibly, yeah, he's such a wonderful guy, like just your beautiful partner of
Yeah.
how many years? Two. You just
Three.
3. Yeah, that's right. You just celebrated your anniversary. So
Yeah. Yeah. So it's 3 years now. Thank you. And he is amazing. And it is, I mean, I often have pinch me moments, you know, even now. And it's just like, well, I mean, I'm just so happy, you know, it's just incredible. But like at the beginning of the relationship, I had so many times where I was a bit like, oh, how do I deal with this? I've not come across this before. And it was like dating for the first time ever, because all my reference points, or so many of my reference points about how I would handle things, had gone, because, you know, I was so different and he was so different to what I was used to. It's like, this feels unfamiliar, but in a good way, but just in a, oh, I don't have an automatic way of handling this
Exactly.
because this is new.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it definitely took a while to kind of be like, oh, okay, this is what it's like to be in a healthy relationship. Um,
yeah.
oh, yeah,
Oh, I know. I was there.
yeah,
So, this would be the perfect lead in to what I think we're jumbling the questions just a
Little
little
bit,
bit, but I
but
think it's fabulous. I think we should stay right here, because then this would be the perfect lead in, Emma. What would you tell someone who's wanting to find what you have?
Wow. Okay. So I think back to that wounded little girl that was, you know, started this journey. And I think,
Oh.
don't give up hope. It can happen. I think, but find somebody that can really help you. I think it's a very difficult journey to do on your own. I mean, obviously, I would recommend a love coach because that's what worked for me, but it doesn't have to be a love coach. It can be somebody that, it has to be somebody that is not going to tell you what they think you want to hear, and that is always going to give you comfort, because clearly comfort's, I mean, we all want comfort. Who doesn't want comfort? But sometimes you have to be held accountable. That mirror has to be held up, and they have to sort of say to you, look, I love you, but
Yes.
you know, where is this really coming from? Is this really what is best for you? So it has to be kind of, you know, that loving accountability. So, and just somebody that is very wise and self-aware, because, you know, they have to understand enough to be able to really see what is going on, because we all do things out of habit. You know, we've got into these psychological habits, and it's what we know, it's our patterns, you know, but if you're going to change, you have to break those habits, you have to break those patterns, you have to do something differently, but it has to be the right things that you do differently. So I think having that accountability, but also just having someone you can talk to as well, and just like really talk out, okay, so this happened, you know, and just really kind of dive deep into what happened and why, and, you know, what you do differently next time, and, you know, what you learn from it, or, you know, whatever it might be. So it's finding that person, whoever that person might be, I think.
Yes. Perfect. And I do love the emotion there, Emma. I mean, because when you get to that true love, when you get to the ultimate of what we are all seeking, which is to share and be loved and to love in an amazing relationship, that it just brings us to our tears. It just brings us to our knees. It's what we, for me, it's what God created for us. He created for us to be in community.
Yeah.
Okay, Abby, I think you have the
Right.
last question there.
Well, I actually, let's see. I think, I don't know if we have any more specific, if we have any more questions in our list.
Okay.
But I loved that. And I just want to add that I think that was, I agree that when you find something that feels so good and so different, that it's just mind-blowing. So I really hope that everyone enjoyed what you heard. This was incredible. It felt so good to me. Every time I hear each one of your stories, we're on number 2 so far, and it's just, I don't know, it just feels so good to listen, and it feels so inspiring. So if you enjoyed this if you enjoyed this episode of our 3-part series on how we got to where we are, and, you know, how it might relate to you on your journey, be sure to subscribe, be sure to like this video so that you have an opportunity to hear all of them, as well as our upcoming content. We so love to be able to grow our community and have as many people as possible here, and have a chance to experience some of what we've experienced. So look forward to part 3, where I get a chance to share some of my story as well. And we look forward to connecting with you in our next episode. Bye.
Bye.